All right. Hello, everyone. Trying to check to see if I'm live here. You might be seeing it before I am. I know we tend to have a bit of a delay, but I want to pause my video that likes to play. There we go. All right. How's everybody doing today? We have, oh my gosh, how many people do we have in here waiting? 26 already waiting here. So let me say some quick hellos. Well, I'll do my best to be quick, but you know how this goes. So we have Richard Longman-Tarot as first one in. Hello. Lisa Dom is here. Hi. Oh, wait, I wanted to do this over here. Okay, and then we have Elizabeth, Celtic Tarot Sheila. Beautiful cloudy day in Colorado. It's a cloudy, windy day here in Seattle. Shanti Diva is here. Let's see, who else do we have? Emily is here. Hi, Elle, Nancy, Patrice, Jennifer Ball. Let's see, scrolling. I always do that. Let's see. Susie Gemini is here. Gracia is here. Everybody chatting. Oh, everybody's looking for the hermit today. Sandra, hi, Sandra. White Tree Tarot is here. Hello. Oh, and then Emily switched her account, but I know it's you, Emily. And then let's see, who else do we have here? I love all the chatty. Hi, Corbin, Tail Raven Tarot. And scrolling. Oh, Eddie's tearing his bed apart. Don't know if you can hear that. Melissa Zupan, hello. Susan of Light and Shadow, raining in Michigan. It sounds like we're having some pretty similar weather, at least across the north half of the country here. Red Bean B, Jamie Kelly, John T, Aquarius Owl, Pamela Ramsey is here. Long hair, skinny eye toe. Oh, should I say it like Becca does? Long hair, skinny eye toe. I think that's how she says it, right? Alana is here. Hello. Kristen Louise. All right. Did I get all caught up? And Michelle M, Wendy Norton popping in. Hey, I appreciate that you just pop in to at least let us know you're thinking about us, Wendy. That's very sweet. And then I think, oh, there's Becca. Speaking of, Ruby Caldero, hello. All right, you guys are all filing in here. Anybody else who comes in, big hello. Anybody I might have missed? I try really hard not to, but if I did, I'm really, really sorry. It's not on purpose. I never purposefully skip over anybody, just so you know. Oak Mama's here. Hello. All right, so quick recap from last week. We had, oh, Jackie. Hi, Jackie. Chris, Elemental Cartomancer. Nice to see you both here. So last week we had the star. Did anybody have this kind of turn up for them in any kind of way? I really just felt like last week for me, I wouldn't say that it came up for me a lot this week. It was just really what I needed to hear a week ago, and it just kind of kept me carrying through. Didn't come up in any of my spreads. And I gave you a really corny activity for last week. So if nobody did, I know somebody said, I think maybe in the Facebook group, that they were trying to wait for the clouds to clear so that they could actually look up at the stars. But I know that was that's probably challenging this time of year. So shame on you for not coming out in the summertime. Oh, thank you, Alana. Yeah, so for those of you who saw my switcheroo, actually last week I had this switched as well because I did my room swap on Saturday before last week's play date, but I don't know if I really mentioned it in play date. So now I have kind of my whole new setup. But if you guys want to see the magic happen or me obsess about organizing my decks, I did post a video where I kind of like did a speed up of I flipped my room around, which surprisingly, I didn't think that. I was just like, I don't know if anybody's going to watch this. And it was actually Elle that talked me into it. She's like, no, people will watch this. They will enjoy it. So now I have all of my, I have my tapestry here. I kind of like this setup too, and it's way easier than what I had to do before to kind of get my room arranged. All right, so are you ready to tackle this week's play date? We're diving right in today. I've actually got a busy day today. Oh, thank you, Elle, for posting the link to the tarot switcheroo video. Drop of Golden Tarot, hello. Yeah, dusting it. I mean, it's a perfect opportunity. But it's funny, I watched the video back and I saw when I cleared these shelves and I saw the dust spots, I was like, oh. But and I actually, I mean, I do dust, but sometimes when things don't move for a while. Okay, so what we want to do first, I don't know if we have any newbies here, but what I usually do is I gather a list of 5 questions. Shane, hi Shane, you liked it too? Oh, that's good. Oh, hi Neem, Essence 818 or 818, depending on how you like to say it. I'm glad you liked it. It was actually, once I did it and I kind of got over the weirdness of watching myself run around on camera, I actually thought it wasn't too bad. You blame the dust on the dogs. Oh, the dog hair. Oh, good, Sue. Ignore the dust. There was no dust. I don't know what you're talking about. Hi, Sea Cat. Oh, did Jonathan sneak in here too? Oh, and Emily was inspired to do some cleanup as well. What did I see here? It just went, oh, you tidied some of your decks. I already want to rearrange like the whole thing all over again. And T-Cat's here. Did I see somebody new come in? I'm trying to use the StreamYard chat. I'm trying to get better about that. And it just it still kind of throws me off. So I miss, if I miss anyone. All right, so those of you who've been in Playdate before, you know how to show them how it's done. If you type a question to me in all caps, we will use one of my 5 random decks that I pulled to look at alternatives for this week's card that we will then use to answer our questions that we might want to ask our card, or that we do want to ask our card for the week. Dusting without dust is worrying. I guess that's true. All right. Oh, you only said hi once, Jonathan. Really, that should be enough. But I don't always see them. I know I don't. Again, also getting myself adjusted to the StreamYard chat. The StreamYard chat is way too slow. Let's see. How far behind am I actually? Oh, I'm not. It's not that far behind. When I did my live with Simon Simon was in here. Did I say hi to you, Simon? Or did I skip right by you? But I know you're here, and hello, and I'm sorry. He's probably like, well, she skipped right over me. Okay. Shall we ask her questions? I'm ready. I got my pen. I've got my paper. I need some questions in all caps. And go. And I have to wait for the 20-year delay, or 20-year delay. Like this is, I'm not carrying any kind of sports ball around. Oh, you have the star one, Corvin? Oh my gosh. All right. So, oh, Emily's coming in with a really long one. All right. Let me see if, all right, let's start with this one here. So from Oak Mama. What should we focus on internally this week? Is that how kind of that's supposed to be phrased? What should we, oh, I need to do some internal focus. This is a good question. What should we focus on internally? Hi, TK. He's making his regular appearance. Can you, meh. You sound, I don't even know. You don't even sound like a cat. Okay. And then from Emily, I have, how can we work with the shifting energies and the unknown to make the best of current situations and manifest our intentions? Well, you're packing a punch with that question. We're going to cover a lot of ground there. How can we work with the shifting energies and the unknown energies and the unknown? Now you know where I'm at in writing down the question. To make the best of the, oh, I'm not going to be able to read my writing later. Current, doesn't that mean it's a sign of intelligence if you have messy handwriting? So does anybody try to purposely make their handwriting messier? Situations / manifest our, I really hope I can read this later, Emily. Tensions. Okay, and then everybody's saying hi to TK. All right, and then I did totally blank you, but I didn't. But see, I caught myself, Simon, so that really counts, right? I mean, I actually remembered that I forgot you. That's like extra special. Shane has a question for us. What energy should we strive at our new endeavors? What energy should we strive for in our new endeavors? Is that kind of what you mean? If I have that wrong, let me know. Should we strive for? I know you're typing in, trying to also get ready for work probably. Strive for in our new endeavors. Are you tackling something new, Shane? Okay, okay. Why are you trying to eat my chair? All right, and then from Jonathan, we have, how do we give up on old dreams to make room for new dreams? That can be tricky, can't it? How do we give up on old dreams? Now there's an implied assumption there that you have to give up those old dreams. Interesting. To make room for new dreams. Okay, so that's 4, and I don't think I missed any. And then, do I have any more? Cat meowed back. Any more questions? I still might need one more, unless somebody snuck one in here. Guys, I need one more question. There it is. Oh, okay. My whatchamacallit is way behind again. There it is. Okay. I think I have from Alana is next. Nope, Sue. Sue. Sorry, Alana, but bring that back next week. I know you're usually here, so will you bring that back for me next week? I don't want to skip somebody. Okay, so from Sue, where do we draw strength from this week? There it is. Okay. Where do we draw strength from this week? Interesting set of questions. Okay. Hi, Val. Nice to see you in. And let's see, did anybody else sneak in? Jonathan said I studied calligraphy. Used to pride yourself on handwriting. I'm still skimming past this. What energy should we take with us to tackle the new endeavors, basically? Okay, I think that's kind of where I was getting at there. Okay, let me take that back down. Oh, I forgot to do my fancy thing. Welcome to Tarot Playdate. All right, let's keep going, Jen. Let's keep going. I'm playing with StreamYard at your expense here. All right. So, Jonathan, to clarify, I was thinking walking away from old dreams that don't serve us anymore to make room for new dreams that align with us better. Okay, I gotcha. All right, shall we do some shuffling? I haven't even taken these out of the box today. I also forgot to light my incense. Okay, one moment. We need to set the mood, everyone. Okay. Not set myself on fire, because we know everybody thinks I'm most likely to burn the house down, I think. Well, actually, I think that was an even split between me and Simon. There we go. Uh-oh. Is that going to stay lit? I think that's going to stay lit. Keep going, buddy. Don't burn out. There we go. All right. Oh, look what's on the bottom. For those of you wishing for the Hermit. Okay. So I will read the questions as we shuffle here. Infuse your energy in. So from Oak Mama, what should we focus on internally this week? From Emily, how can we work with the shifting energies and the unknown to make the best of the current situation or manifest our intentions? That's kind of appropriate since we just had the new moon on Friday. From Shane, what energy should we strive for in our new endeavors? Jonathan, how do we give up for old dreams to make room that might not serve us, to make room for new dreams? And from Sue, where do we draw strength from this week? Hen's here. Good early morning to you. I don't know why I just went Irish on you there. Not very well, but ooh, okay. Not the Hermit. Not the Hermit. We're bringing in a wands. A 5 of wands, no less. It's not the Hermit or strength. You know, we've had a run of majors lately, I think. So maybe it was time for another minor card. What do you think? First impressions? Oh, Corbin's like, oh no. Simon says, oh no. Oklahoma says, oh. Oh goodness. Oh my. Gracia's covering. Now, the 5 of wands is not as bad as the 5 of swords, right? So, you know, Corbin says the opposite of what I need this week. Well, we're going to help you. We're going to help because by pulling this card, we can figure out ways through it, right? How to use this card to guide us. Shane, time to fight. Let's go. Fight me. Okay. Susie says, this is so bad. Nancy says, well, shoot. Elle, no, thank you. Sandra, no. Okay, so nobody's excited to see this particular card. Maybe when we look at some of the alternates, maybe, you know, Richard says issues, small issues. We're all going to get caught up in the little conflicts, right? Val says, I got a good 5 of Wands yesterday, the will and using constructively. Interesting. Challenge, competition, perseverance. Oak Mama. Yeah, so what things just come to mind immediately, typically, when you see this card? Emily, I don't need this. I didn't either, but I did actually get this card yesterday in my daily draw. So blame me again if you'd like. Oh, and so did Wendy. I got this card. See, it's not just me. Blame me and Wendy, apparently. Simon says, resolved conflicts will bring success. Val says, yeah, I'm excited. Shane's excited. Shane's always excited to see the more challenging cards. He's not going to turn away from a challenge, I guess, so to speak here. Sue, I'm staying in bed. Oklahoma says they could be training, right? So yeah, they could be actually training for a conflict or a battle and not actually in the midst of it just yet. Patrice says voting in the US. Seriously, please vote. My ballot is almost done. It's going in the Dropbox today. Just saying. Chris, elemental cartomancy. Sometimes someone else brings a different dynamic into the situation. Passions are high and can lead to conflicts, but we can't stay in our solo bubble forever. This is a necessary step. Richard Longmantero says gossip and slander. Workplace bitching, right? Yeah, a lot of times this can be like that nonsense that goes on in the workplace, for sure. Gracia, conflicts and disagreements. Jonathan says, I always see this as lighthearted roughhousing and a good-spirited competition. I know there's some deck, and I can't remember which one, where it actually shows like two people arm wrestling. You know, it's like that kind that I often see in this card. Elizabeth says things to resolve. Kristen says balancing conflicting internal energies. Celtic Tarot Sheila, I feel like this is the USA right now. Yeah, I almost feel like we're almost more 5 of Swords though. Like it's just, or some other kind of swords maybe, but yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Neem says get in and compete, right? Don't be afraid, like jump into the fray. Do what you got to do here. Wendy, it's so many problems around. Choose which one to prioritize and deal with that first. So maybe don't try to tackle everything at once. Val, this may be helpful in us dealing constructively with the returning lockdowns. Yeah. Oh gosh. Rise to the challenge, says Simon. Yeah. See, Simon, you and Shane, right? You're like, we got this. We're ready to face whatever it is. Susie, Crow Tarot yesterday said it is a fight, but now that's bad. They come together. Oh, they come together. You pulled this yesterday. I'm not. Oh, clashing of egos. Gracia. Conflicts prevent growth. Simon, yes, that's true too. Competing energies, says Sue. Training, says Shanti. Jonathan, the energy in this card is resilient. Everyone is very forceful and energetic. You see a lot of enthusiasm and even optimism. Each person believes he will be the victor. Well, that can get us into trouble, can't it? Corbin says, I have a version of this card where it's dogs fighting. That's maybe what my week is. Your dogs have been extra feisty lately, it seems like, Corbin. Lots of conflicts in the UK. Yeah, here in the US too. Pamela Ramsey says, healthy competition. Elizabeth, petty hustles and annoyance. So there's a lot of different ways we can look at what's happening in this particular card. Jonathan says, they all stand on a small hill, each one trying to be the king of the hill. The 5 of Wands can be playful like a sport or more serious like a battle. Exactly. Drop of Golden Tarot, petty squabbles that will not be long lasting. Don't get stuck here. Pick your battles and let this go. I have often seen this as the I need to pick my battles card. Simon says it represents our need to fight and win to prove an unnecessary point, usually based on fear. Represents our need to fight and win to prove an unnecessary point, usually based on fear. So that's when we get into that place where we are just like, I just need to be right. whether or not you're really right. Like you just dig your heels in and refuse to kind of see outside your own defensive position. Richard says they look like a group of people trying to make something together with their sticks, but just can't organize it. Like on Survivor when they tried to build the shelter, if anybody knows that reference. Right? It's like sometimes that turns into a thing, you know? They're all really trying to do the same thing, but yet they just can't get their stuff together. T-Cat says, to me, this card is about busy mind or contradictory issues that give you internal battles. Interesting. Ignoring calls to fight, says Simon. So maybe there's an opportunity for us to take up arms and we choose not to, perhaps, or we turn a blind eye to it a bit. Sue says fighting rather than listening. Pamela says 4, have a stable stance, one with a stave behind the neck. Looks like he could lose his balance. And I am going to pull this up closer so you guys can take a closer look at this. I just love to get the first impressions before we dive deep into the symbols and everything that's literally in the card. Drop of Golden Tarot says, I have a deck with the dogs fighting too. Dogs seriously get into it, and then a minute later, they are okay with each other again. Yeah, they just have to establish dominance. They have to figure out who's going to be the leader of the pack, and then they're fine, right? As long as somebody acquiesces, though, right? One of them usually has to, at least one of them. Make sure you're not the one in the middle, says Wendy. Emily says, yes, fear often results in people getting cross and aggressive or defensive. Elle says, lessons we experience through relationships in the world have come to test our strength, ego, and will when we commit to remaining in situations that make us miserable, but protect us from having to challenge. Which reminds me, Elle, you just reminded me, I want to pull our melanated tarot as well, which, okay, going to put my star away and get the 5 of Wands out here. Okey-dokey. All right, got that one. So here's our melanated 5 of Wands with its gorgeous coloring. Every time I pull one of these cards, I just, oh, Shane, I'm ahead of you. Well, you probably didn't know that because I had the 20-second delay, but I really was just going to pull that. Okay, so let me go back to, and then I still will pull this up. And then I have to remember where my camera angle is. Okay, there we go. All right, so Jonathan said the esoteric title of this card is Lord of Strife. At the core, this card is about struggle and strife. Strife can manifest within us or externally, and maybe our need to take care of ourselves. L, our fears, our spirit will be tested. Shane, I feel like it's you need to fight and face the issues or struggles ahead. So you feel like it's a call to kind of like what Simon was saying earlier, right? To step into the fray. Jonathan, in terms of fight or flight, this is fight. We might be struggling with different interests or passions that want our time and attention. Simon, through perseverance, courage, patience, and strength of spirit, you will be able to find a place of peace inside yourself. You have to fight for it. And sometimes we have to fight for ourselves, right? We have to advocate for ourselves. We have to fight for the things that we need. Shane, you and I were on the same wavelength there. Yes, the dogs are in This Might Hurt. Oh. We might get a chance to see that a little later. Testing times. Oh, Kim was here earlier too. And Kim, I don't know if I said hi to you. I blanked a lot of people, I think. So I'm sorry if I did. I love you all. Jonathan, we might be at war with ourselves, trying to do better than we did in the past. Strife can also manifest in our environment. All right, are we ready to take a close-up look? So we'll do our original RWS, and then I'll also give you a look at the melanated. Okay, let's get some focus on some faces. There we go. And I always find it really interesting to look at the expressions on their faces to help delve a little bit more into the meaning of this card. Is that a tiny bit of water down there on the ground? Just a little bit of emotion, but maybe not a lot. What do we think about that? Thanks, Alana. I know. Okay, Simon, okay. I'm not getting away with it. I get it. All right, here is this one too, in case you'd like to take a look at this one and it brings anything different. Again, especially with those expressions. I feel like it's so much easier to see the expressions on these guys. Okay, so there's no water in this one. So maybe it was just shading in the ground, or it's a different choice. So pretty. I heard our friend Brant managed to score himself a copy of this. All right, so did you see anything that you don't typically see in this card? Did anything jump out at anybody as a surprise? I know, spoilers. Thank you, Lisa. Drop a, you were talking about this might hurt. Okay, so Jonathan says, when we go for a job interview, we must compete with other applicants. This is a real life situation of 5 of Wands where you have to compete against others, fight to be the one who gets the job. And there are so many other areas, right? Even if you're a small business owner, you know, you have to compete with others, or a large company, you have to compete with others. Like that just is pervasive in our work lives, isn't it? Gracia says, it doesn't look like solid ground. That's true, right? For both of these, there's definitely kind of that lack of stability. And in a lot of Pixie's artwork, we see people standing on sort of solid ground, right? Not here, though. It's a little bumpy, isn't it? Wands have leaves, they are growing, right? So there's always that opportunity with the wands, or that potential for growth. Chris says, I feel like this card can mean healthy competition too, depending on what it is reading for. If we were looking at someone's business, for example, this would represent competing with other businesses. Oh yeah, we were just talking about that. You probably already had that typed when I was babbling about it. Which challenges us and makes us keep improving and striving to be better. Oak Mama notices that they're all dressed differently, as if they have different ideas of how to use those resources, and definitely coming from different perspectives. Wendy says the leaves could be new ideas and everyone trying to get their ideas to the forefront. Oh, I love that idea, right? And I think, you know, somebody may have said that earlier as well. It's competing to be heard, or yeah, to get your idea to be the one that people pick. Fighting to be heard. The path stands out. So that's true, right? This almost does look more like a path than maybe uneven ground here, whereas here there doesn't look like there's a path or a way out. Sorry, still struggling. And when you don't use StreamYard, like the image is mirrored and it's not mirrored anymore. So now I have to figure out, like now I see these cards. Oh, you get what I mean, right? L, does your methods of tackling pain come at an unwarranted price? Own your struggles, sit down with your truth. Let it breathe as you cultivate an answer that leaves you wise and unscathed. Ooh, that gives me something to think about. I really want to like settle into that one. Sea Cat, they hold the stick so high, stabbing in the air like a useless fight, right? I mean, you don't get much leverage when you do it that way, do you? And it's not like I know anything about fighting, but it does seem sort of an inefficient use of energy, right? Like when you hold that up high, it takes much more exertion to swing that stick than if you hold it close to your body. And maybe that's, again, something that's being conveyed there in the way that they're struggling. T-Cat, I sometimes see this card when it comes to healthy competition on workplaces or in relationships. It also refers to sports. Yeah, I oftentimes see that sort of the competitiveness of it. Simon says that's because it's a hillock. A hillock? What is a hillock? Positive, good position, secure stand, a lookout. Oh, do we mean like where they're standing? Okay. Negative, arrogance, haughtiness, disregard for others. See, Simon's tagging me now because he doesn't trust that I'll actually see his comments. I'm just teasing you, Simon. Jonathan, let's see, where this card falls really change the way we interpret the meanings. Oh, yeah, within the context of a spread or a question. Sometimes this card is playful and sometimes it's serious. I love and this is true with every card in the deck, which is oftentimes why I choose not to read with reversals, because where it falls definitely can give you a different spin on how to interpret it. Brainstorming, says Shanti. Ooh, that's an interesting take on this card. I like that, the concept of brainstorming. Wendy says it reminds me of our team meetings at work where you're brainstorming. Any chance? Wendy says, I like to think I'm on the outside observing. Alana, so it looks to me that there are two defending one against two others. Oh, no, so we have maybe some people taking sides. Sorry, I had to look at that for a second. Jonathan, the Five of Wands has a tendency to mistake something that is harmless as a threat and makes it a reason for war. A harmless comment someone makes is interpreted as an insult, right? So this could be our perception of a conflict that maybe wouldn't be there if we wouldn't get all caught up in ego and defensiveness and all of those things. Simon, the odd footwear, but Oh no, I best watch my tongue today. Boot, protection, shoe, civilized life, combination of wild and cultivated aspects. So here where we see different people with different kinds of footwear. So we have some with shoes and some with boots, right? So that could indicate a different level on how they're approaching this particular challenge, conflict, right? And Simon is likely, just so you know, because he's so good about this, bringing us the reading from the Ultimate Guide to the Rider-Waite Smith here, some of the notes on the different symbols. So for those who are maybe new here and haven't seen this book before, it's very cool because you open it up and it, oh geez, Jen, you can see like it takes the card here and it kind of points out all these, no, this is on this side, all the symbols, and then it talks and dives into each of the symbols. And it can be a really great way to add additional layers of meaning to how you interpret the cards. And let's see, Chris says 5 is instability, so kind of bringing the numerology into it, right? Instability, and the wand's fire is purpose and passion. The 5 people all have their own self-interest in mind, and they've reached a kind of statement where everyone is at cross purposes. So, Simon, you're on the wrong card, but there are boots and shoes, and they are kind of on a hillock. So, what card were you on? Like, it was clearly very similar. Were you on perhaps the 7 of Wands? I'm wondering now. You got to tell us. Oh, that's really funny. Lisa's asking, what is the name? What is the name of what? Jonathan, your actions are actually reactions to some internal issue that has not been resolved and manifests as behaviors like bullying and fighting. 5 of Wands challenges how you're reacting to situations. Ella has the book. She's at the ready to take your job. I had the book open and the page turned as I was typing. That's really funny. But where did it turn to? I really want to know. Okay, so any other... That cracks me up. And yet we still found a way to apply it. I'll take anything y'all say, clearly. The book. Oh, the book. What is it called? Okay, so this is the Ultimate Guide to the Rider-Waite Tarot. And you can usually find it like on Amazon. It's by, I never say this right, but Johann Fiebig or Fiebig and Evelyn Berger. So... but yeah, it can be really cool. So now I need to know. It was the 7 of Wands. Oh, I'm a good guesser. Okay. So yeah, I guess I think, you know, your comments still kind of apply. But remember, we did actually get the 7 of Wands. And I think that was one of the surprises, was that he had on his feet 1 boot and 1 shoe, which was very interesting on the one person. Here, I think everybody's got matching footwear. I think in this one. Yeah. Okay. Any other sort of general thoughts on this? Don't bury your head, Simon. It still worked. We can still roll with this. It's all good. And we're here to learn together. So Shanti has the book. Yeah, I've really enjoyed, and a lot of times after we're done with Playdate, I'll go take a look and look through the symbols and really add to it there. TCAT, funny enough, I also see this card as someone being devil's advocate, defending an opinion that one doesn't really find true. Once again, it goes back to that issue that gives you internal conflict, right? See, nobody's worried. Slank it? Who said slank it? Oh, Simon did say slank it. My brain corrected it to blanket. See, Simon, this is called karma. When you give me a hard time, your page is turned to open it. Oh, that's really funny. Well, at least you two were in sync. That's good. Any other general thoughts, or do we want to start diving into alternative cards and questions? I think we're kind of right on schedule for that. All right, so as I do every week, just in case there's anybody new here who doesn't know this, I have a random name generator on my phone that I have all my tarot decks plugged into, or all my, and then I have a special group for my Rider-Waite Smith, not the actual, like, I don't show necessarily the same exact artwork, right? I usually like my decks that have a little bit of a twist on it, and I will randomly select 5 for play date that we then use. So this week's random selection includes a new deck that has come into my collection. I haven't talked about this on my channel yet, but this was a gift to me from Brand Moonbaby, who heard me talk about needing or not having the Halloween tarot, and he's like, Jen, you have to have it. And then we had this whole debacle where he thought he had actually accidentally ordered the French version, because it says that on Amazon. I've actually seen this where it says on Amazon that it's French, and so we thought I was maybe going to get a French version. I was like, well, that's all right, you know, I'll learn a little something, it's cool. And it did show up, and it actually wasn't English, so I didn't have to practice my French. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Wendy says, quick question about to order a book. Which one is the best, to Ultimate Guide to Rider-Waite or Ultimate Guide to Tarot, Liz Dean? Can anyone offer advice to help my dilemma? I actually have that Ultimate Guide to Tarot. That's the big colorful one, right? It has like blue and it looks like kind of like a wheel on the front maybe. And I actually really like that one as well. So the Ultimate Guide to the Rider-Waite-Smith dives more kind of into the symbols in each of the cards, whereas the Ultimate Guide to Tarot is probably a little bit broader than that. So it just kind of depends on what you're looking for. But other people in the chat may have some ideas on that as well. All right, oh, wait. Which one's wands? Okay, there's pumpkins, ghosts. Ghosts are cups, right? And then bats. Oh, that's definitely swords. And then imps. Imps must be the wands. Those are the wands. Okay. I had to figure this out. I haven't even looked through this deck yet. So you guys are getting my first look at the Halloween tarot. All right. So that was so cute. All right. Here is our 5 of imps or wands from the Halloween tarot. Oh, that's bright on that moon. There we go. There we go. You can see there's a face in the moon, right? This coloration is freaking my camera out. Look, and I hear, if I understand correctly, this little cat makes an appearance in every single card. So does this bring anything different for you? Does it evoke a different feeling? I feel like that with the imps, and I kind of know like imps are sort of troublesome little characters. I feel like these guys are going to cause more trouble than maybe I would necessarily think in my original RWS card. All right, what do y'all think? Emily says, I love this deck. I've been using it a lot this month. I have and really like the In Focus Tarot Your Personal Guide. I haven't heard of that one, Alana. Oh, by Stephen Bright. Okay. Shane loves the little cat friend. Walks with Purpose. Hello, hello. Nice to see you. Jonathan, interesting that it's nighttime in this version. Night worries keeping you awake at night. Ooh, any of us having some sleepless nights? I've been having some crazy dreams lately. I didn't used to remember my dreams, but lately I feel like I've been having just a bunch. Pamela says they stir up drama. So I grabbed the little white book for this. I don't know if it's anything more than keywords in here. It looks like it's mostly just keywords. Sandra, I always have mad dreams. Let's see. The Suit of Bats. While y'all are talking, the Suit of Imps. Generating excitement or conflict, rebellion, struggle, competition. Okay, interesting the word excitement. I don't necessarily think about it like that, but yeah, you can kind of whip people up into a frenzy and have that kind of be a meaning of this card as well, right? Solve dilemma as they want. Oh, you solved the dilemma as wanting more about the symbols? Okay. Okay, good, Wendy. I'm glad we could help you with that one. These guys look like the people who crash a party and make a mess, says Regina. Yes. Saskia, it looks like they are practicing. They don't seem angry, just curious. Jackie, at night, problems can seem worse, right? Especially if we get caught up in our heads, right, at night. Oklahoma Sleepless. Emily, it reminds me a bit of the pixies in Harry Potter's Chamber of Secrets when they tear the classroom apart. They will create a lot of chaos in their wake, and the ripples will affect others. Yes. Okay, did I miss any comments? I don't know that this is bringing like a ton of different imagery to us. I do like our little kitty observer. He's probably sitting back and like, you guys, like, is this necessary? Can't you all just get along? You know? But he's also got his hackles up. Like he's a little bit, I don't know if you can see that, but the little kitty hackles are up. So maybe he's ready to either run into the fray or run away from the fray, one of those two. Corbin says, it reminds me of my family trying to put up a tent. Wendy says, I watched a YouTube review on this deck, and when I first saw this deck, did not like it, but when I watched the review, I grew to like it. See, I've been kind of had the same thing. When I first saw it, I was like, that's kitschy, whatever. But I've seen so many people talk about it. I started to think, okay, I need to embrace a bit more. I need to embrace the cute Halloweenness a bit more. And I think I'm going to like it. Shane says, imps read to me tricksters, troublemakers, but not a huge threat, right? So it's that sort of perceived mess that they can make, right? Or the mess that they can make, but not necessarily having huge lasting impact. Alana, I dreamt this morning that I was having a love affair with Dr. Alex Karev from Grey's Anatomy. He's not even on it anymore. Ooh, spoiler, sorry. Jen, I've just noticed you have a new name. I love it. Oh, Jen, she does have a new name. Jen Science to Soul, Tarot, and Transformation. Ooh, it got even longer. That's a good one. I used to have the Tim version, but gave it away. I wasn't keen. Really, Sandra? I actually am surprised that you didn't like it. It would seem like maybe one that you would. Saskia, yes, maybe not curious, but they are having fun. Trying to translate, meanings are sometimes different. What is, you don't have to tell us, Saskia, I'm just curious what your native language is then. Neem, I wasn't interested in this deck until someone posted the Wheel of Fortune card on the Tarot Playdate group. Yeah, I remember that. Simon's just pleased of the lack of shoes and boots, John. Poor Simon. He's going to hide under the blankets now again. I have the one in the tin. Love it working with this month. Okay, let's answer our first question with this card. So from Oak Mama, this is interesting. What should we focus on internally this week? So how would you answer that question? What should we focus on internally this week? Slink it. Yes, not blanket. Slink it. Doesn't sound like conflict to me, Alana. Speaking of the dream, right? That's hilarious. So what should we focus on internally this week? So maybe what we need to focus on, and you guys can tell me your thoughts, but it's not getting caught up in unnecessary conflict over silly things, or not allowing things to maybe be in our head. We might make a bigger thing and we might think it's a conflict, when in reality, if we just step back and observe, we'll recognize that there really isn't a conflict going on. So that's one way to approach it. Pamela says, the moon, pay attention to subconscious dreams. Well, we know Alana's paying attention, right? So there's that. Thank y'all. Let's see, Kristen, focus on where we are experiencing cognitive dissonance and resolve them. Okay, I like that. Any other thoughts? I'm going to see over here too. No, okay, I'm caught up. I am caught up. Don't let the conflict escalate, right? And don't be a troublemaker, right? So, if we're having thoughts and we feel like sharing them, let's be sure we do it in a way that perhaps won't cause conflict, right? Don't be impish, right? I should change it. Oh, she should change it to Hen Science to Soul Tarot Jen, since that's what we all call her. Yeah. Jonathan, it sounds like we have internal conflict we need to work through, and we need our thoughts to align and not be in conflict. Right? So, step into the fray. Like even Simon and Shane earlier too were saying, right, we have to step in and not be afraid to not engage, right? We might need to engage in order to resolve. But again, if we're thinking about it from an internal way, so maybe that's also if you have some sort of inner thoughts that are not serving you well, perhaps you need to tackle those and fight those and kind of beat them off with a stick if you need to. Hi, Justin. Thanks for listening. Celtic Tarot Sheila says you can watch the drama, but don't involve yourself in the drama and the strife and arguments. Chris, our internal conflict, sometimes we don't know if we are coming or going, and that is okay. You don't have to be completely together 100% of the time. Control the controllable, and embrace the chaos. Yeah. So go with the flow, kind of, right? Pamela's noting that they're all on common ground, right? And this ground is actually more stable than what we see in the original RWS, right? Kristen says, lay your sticks down for the greater good. Wendy says, just stop those internal conflicts. Choose your battles carefully, says Wendy. TCAT, we should focus on putting our thoughts into an order and focus on one thing at a time. Hi, Asha. Stephen, hello. Focus on self-care so that we have the resilience to manage thoughts and feelings in the moment. This will allow us to navigate the situation and arrive at a best outcome. Good answers. All right, Oak Mama. Did we help? All I see is laughing emojis from whatever was happening earlier. But hopefully we answered that question. Okay. Oh, you literally just changed your name while we were watching. That's funny. I love doing this too, Celtic Tarot Sheila. That's why we do it every dang week. Okay, next alternative deck. This one might give us a little more food for thought. We'll see what you think. I have the Naked Heart Tarot by Jillian C. Wild. So this is an animal-based deck, very simple in imagery, but oftentimes can bring some really great stuff forward. So let's see what we've got here. Okay, so this one here is a bit more pippish, but let me know what it kind of makes you think of. And I do have her book here too, so we can get a little Jillian wisdom with it as well. So here is the Five of Wands from the Naked Heart Tarot. Okay, let's see if I can aim at my camera here. Come on, there you go. So it's interesting to me that we kind of have these little offshooting arrows coming out. Oh, there's one kind of headed in. So we have sort of that central wand or stave. I guess this is a wand in this case. And then these conflicting. Why do I keep pronouncing it like that? Conflicting? Practice self-control and conserve your energy, said Wendy. So answering kind of that last question, I think. This is the Five of Wands that we got today, Asha. Oh, I missed you a few times, Emily. Did I just keep skipping over you? I'm so sorry if I did. I'm scrolling. I don't know. Maybe all caps me next time so I don't do that. Oak Mama, I love it. Maybe those conflicting ideas come at night. We need to focus on sleep. Oh, so okay, good. Okay, good. I'm glad you liked how we were answering that particular question. So Val says with this one, looks like the fire or conflict is building here, right? It looks like it has a bit of swirling energy to it. Like, ooh, this might be an escalating situation. That's one big ball of fire to control, right? Yeah. So right now it feels almost like the wands are sort of keeping that ball of fire at bay. What happens if we remove the wands? So are we perhaps in a defensive situation? I haven't really thought of it like that. Elizabeth says, I'm thinking of the energy shift from the Four of Wands. Like what happened, right? We were in this nice, stable place in the Four, and then suddenly all hell broke loose. I don't know what happened. Very fitting deck for my dream. The card 2, Internal Burning Desire. This is your passion for Alex Karev coming through, Alana. Kristen says, it reminds me of the fire in the belly idea. So like kind of that burning passion, right? I have a fire in my belly. Like, and then how is that going to express itself? Is it going to come out for good, or is it going to come out causing trouble? Jonathan says, it feels like a bonfire being held back by our conflicting thoughts, emotions, and ideas. Yeah, I think I really love the addition of a really obvious fire element in this particular card. So while you guys are throwing some ideas here, why don't I also see what Jillian has to say, because she writes really lovely, I think. Okay. It's just a tiny book that I'm trying to navigate with one hand here. So fireball spins behind 5 wands. The wands are chaotically pointing in different directions, battling against themselves and the other wands. There are arrows flying everywhere, insinuating battle. The Five of Wands represents a time in your life when fire energy is running at an all-time high. Things get heated and conflict arises. You may be feeling like you are battling against yourself, your ego, or external forces of friction. Now is a time to consider what you can control and what you need to accept and start protesting against to help diminish the conflict. So earlier, somebody was saying like, kind of embrace the chaos, right? Sometimes when limits are put on your desires, it is that exact energy that propels you forward to see things differently. And there's a few more sentences, but I think that's kind of a good idea of sort of what she's getting at here. It does look like a bonfire, Kristen said, throwing more kindling on the fire, right? So if we keep adding wood and more wands and conflict to this, are we really helping the situation? Jonathan says, we need to pick a direction to focus our fire, our internal creativity. Susie says, arrows just don't feel threatening to me in modern times. This will pass. And so maybe that's sort of that's kind of the idea that, yes, while things are happening, it's not as dangerous as some other things that could be happening or impactful. Interesting. This card is very much like the Thoth Five of Wands, says John. Buildup of energy about to burst, says Wendy. I haven't I haven't re-asked Emily's question, but I'm just about ready to bring it. So White Tree Tarot, this reminds me of trying to start a fire by rubbing two sticks together. Conflict can bring a new useful spark, right? Or sparkle, but I think you meant spark. All right, so Emily's question, so this was a doozy. Pay attention now. How can we work with the shifting energies and the unknown to make the best of the current situation and manifest our intentions? How can we work with the shifting energies and the unknown to make the best of the current situation and manifest our intentions? How do y'all want to answer that one? So Ellen said, the battle that will serve as proof of our growth. Ooh, I like that. So how can we work with the shifting energies and the unknown? I'm thinking. I'm gonna stall and take a sip of my coffee. And maybe it's, how can we work with the shifting energies and the unknown to make the best of the current situation and manifest our intentions? And maybe it's to not let things get out of control. Don't let the conflict get out of hand and this fireball overtake everything, right? So maybe we need to organize our wands and kind of organize our quote unquote defense so that we can tackle it in a way that's actually useful and productive rather than adding to the chaos. That's kind of what comes to mind for me. Kristen says controlled conflict, question mark. This card seems more like controlled chaos. Val, shifting winds comes to mind. Be careful of surrounding conditions. Ooh. Jonathan, instead of letting the arrows of the energy go all over the place, pick something to focus on and shift all your energy to aim for that goal. Yeah, so right. So, and I think that's kind of where I was going with that a little bit as well. Emily says it does make me think of that too, White Tree Tarot. So the conflict bringing a spark. Okay. See, Kat, do not let external factors carry you away. Organize mentally. Chris, elemental cartomancy. Maybe we need to learn to see the shifting energies as an asset and use them to our advantage rather than seeing them as a hindrance. Patrice, have I said hi to you, Patrice? Hello, if I haven't. Move into that fire energy to catalyze our creative energy force. Find creative solutions. L, little things make big differences. All the fire building up from the smaller movements of each wand creates that big ball of energy. Alana, as funny as it was and a joke to me in my dream, but I think Oak Mama's response is quite fitting to answer this question. And I'm not sure exactly which response. Maybe you need to align those sticks to work together to work that fire out, perhaps. Oh, yeah, that's kind of what I was saying, I think. Emily, yes, that is helpful too, Jonathan, because it's all very overwhelming at the moment, and focusing on one thing at a time is a good idea, right? So to control the chaos that could be happening. Pamela says, I see the fire as energy like Kundalini, which can be a powerful ally if focused. Kundalini, Kundalini. Every time you guys throw at least one word at me. Kristen, the arrow makes me think of Saint Sebastian, or the arrows. Don't let overwhelming conflict turn you into a martyr. That might be a stretch, right? Okay, so I feel like Emily's gotten something out of this, so that is good. All right, we're moving along at a pretty good pace here today. So we did have a bit of a spoiler earlier. I'm sorry. I didn't keep a very good secret. But the next one that I have here is the This Might Hurt Tarot. I haven't looked at this one in a while. I've been missing it. So this is good. This is a good opportunity. Need that card over here and then that over there. And let's get our 5 of Wands. Aha. Yes, we had some references to this card earlier in today's chat. So this one, Shane, dogs, dogs, dogs. Yes, dogs, dogs, dogs. All right, here we go. And while I show this, Saskia, I see the 5 of Wands as my inner voices fighting. So far, this question, maybe try to see how they can work together instead of against each other. Now, these dogs are definitely looking a bit more vicious, but they're clearly at the dog park, right? So are they fighting? Are they playing? What do you think? Melissa says, I love my This Might Hurt deck, but I never use it because I'm paranoid about destroying the gilding. Yeah, I have just decided if gilding chips, because like I have my bone fire and I know that's going to chip and, you know, I want to use my cards. Drop of Golden Tarot says, I love the dog in the back. I want to embody his energy. Like he's just running around with the stick in his hand. Like he's like, I'm just going to run around, y'all, and I'm going to play with my stick and you guys can do what you're doing. I feel like this dog almost looks like he's getting like tickled or something. He looks like he's smiling and happy to me. But I don't know why I think that because this other dog's like going for his neck. Playing versus fighting. So this is the one you were talking about earlier too, Corbin. Play, fighting, Jackie. Oh my God, the one in the back. I'm taking my stick and leaving. Yes. Some are fighting, some are playing. So we're seeing like a mix of both, right? The one at the neck, he's off ski, or at the back. Yeah, he's like, I'm out of here. I still keep trying to reverse this. Shane, I actually like dog train. Oh, so Shane is a dog trainer. I actually dog trainer here. See, some are more serious and some may be in a bicker or mark playing fighting. See, same thing that Corbin's saying there. Jonathan, just like the dogs at the dog park, you can't let play escalate into conflict, right? So sometimes friendly competition can get downright dirty and ugly and people start to take it more seriously. So something that maybe is started out as being lighthearted, fun, like nobody wants to play Monopoly with me. So maybe it's like that. All right, what else you guys got here? We're not on the same playing field. Some people are playing rough and dirty, cheating, etc. Emily's saying to Corbin there. Looks like a bit of a territory fight, says T-Cat. Pamela, he wants someone to notice him and chase after. Yeah, and how many times did we all do that as young kids at the playground? Chase me, chase me. What is that about? Oak Mama, wasn't Saint Sebastian pierced by swords or was it arrows? Are you kind of thinking back to that previous card? White Tree Tarot, quite aggressive version. Even the dog who already has a stick tries to take one away from his mate, right? I mean, that's just greedy. Yeah, he already has a stick in his mouth. And here he is like, hey, I want your stick too. Like, why is one not enough? There's enough for everyone, right? We don't need to be oppressing anyone or anything. The one in the center that looks vicious doesn't have his ears back, which is often a telltale sign. So sometimes when they have their, their mouths and their jaws open and they're showing their teeth, they look scary even if their intention is not. So you can still come across very menacing even when your intent is not to do so. Maybe something there. Drop of Golden Tarot reminds me of the person that picks and says it's all in fun, but it may not feel fun to you. Yeah. I've known some people like that. Ooh, just joking, just joking. In all honesty, for a long time, I learned from my mother. I did not have a very good sense of humor way back in the day because she didn't have a very good sense of humor. And to be mean is not funny. Like you have to know the difference, right? Having fun. Oh, thanks, Jen. Thanks, Jen. I thought you were going to be like shouting about the card, but thank you. Shane. Oh, you're talking about being a dog trainer? Melissa, I love this card in the Robinwood. Everyone is fighting, but you can see that if they work together, the wands would form a pentacle. Well, that would be a fun one to post in the Playdate group because I know you're a member now, so that would be cool. Emily, yes, absolutely. It is not fun when people do that. Let's see. I don't know if there's anything. I think you guys have probably picked up on most of probably what's in this card, but I have the book here just in case. See if there's any nuggets. Let's see. This is a fight, not a heroic battle. So this is a card of conflict. I chose to draw dogs fighting over sticks. What's most important to notice about the 5 of Wands is that no one is really getting hurt. There's no blood or grave injury. It's a pointless, low-stakes conflict that leaves everyone bruised. I kind of like that take on it. Let's see if anybody else had. Rachel Pollack's book, she describes the 5 of Wands like no one wants to hurt each other. They just want to get the pent-up energy out, like boys play fighting. And maybe that's why the dogs have sticks. Oh, yes. All right. Oh, this is a perfect one for Shane's question, too, since he is the dog trainer in the group. Well, he is at least one of, I don't know if there are others. So Shane asked, what energy should we strive for in our new endeavors? What energy should we strive for in our new endeavors? And maybe it's we need a little bit of competitive drive, right? We might need to be willing to compete for what it is that we want, just as long as we don't let it get out of hand. So if you're going for a new job, like you have to be willing to sell yourself and go that, kind of show, hey, I'm better than that guy over there or that woman over there, right? So that you can tackle what it is. So maybe don't be afraid to kind of, advocate for yourself, battle for yourself, and just kind of go for it, even if it's not easy. So those are some thoughts that I have. We should embody good-natured competition in our endeavors, says Jonathan. Kristen, we need to be willing to struggle for what we want. Don't give up so easily. That's true too, right? Like stay in it. Don't give up just because it's hard. Now, I don't know that you need to be this guy and like you need to have your stick and somebody else's, but at least make sure you at least have a stick, right? So maybe that. What other thoughts do you guys have? Yeah, I always find it interesting how oftentimes the right card, the right deck gets chosen to answer the right question, I feel like. Jen says, also getting through that mind battle we so often put ourselves through, our internal conflicts. Sue says, show determination, but no underhanded tactics. Kristen, just have a stick in the fight, right? Like, just make sure you have a stick. Right? Don't be the one running. Like if that dog in the back didn't have a stick, would we read that a little bit differently? Alana says, oh yeah, I can appreciate. Oh, you're talking about the gilding on the cards. Okay. It's something that brings up an alpha dog energy in us, White Tree Tarot. Ooh, interesting. Oak Mama says, be prepared for the arena. So it maybe isn't going to be easy, right? We have to be prepared to battle it out so we can come ahead. But, and again, let's not wound anyone, right? Let's keep the conflict healthy, I suppose. Yeah, I gotcha, Alana. Did that help, Shane? Did you have any other thoughts? Because I know sometimes you will really interpret these in very creative ways. And by the way, I'll thank you for posting a link to the Facebook group earlier so people can put their 5 of Wands cards in there so we can see even more interpretations of the card. I want to make sure that my chat has not paused. All right, well, hopefully we've answered that, and I'll keep us, we're actually moving along really quickly today. That's okay, maybe you can get on about your day a little bit. The next deck that I have, Kristen said I would be the dog running away. Shane, I'm good. I've got some ideas. I've got a lot of dogs to sort out. Okay, the next deck that I have is, I love this when this deck comes up in Playdate for whatever reason, and it's the Happy Tarot because they're just so damn cute. Okay, let's see here. We have, and in the Happy Tarot, the wands are, well, as I say, they're often candy canes. Oak Mama, I'd be the dog giggling. Like, oh, look at all those silly dogs fighting over sticks when everybody's already got a stick. Okay, T-Cat, you should strive for confidence and be a little bit competitive. Now is your time to put that game face on and give something to the world that sets you apart from others so you can shine. All right, here is, I love these purple backs on this deck. Yeah, the border, do you have still the bordered one, Simon? All right. So we have, oh, see that guy right there? He's kind of like the dog in the background of the other one, isn't he? That kid is yelling. Oh, that one looks angry. They all have little angry faces on, don't they? So what does this make you think? Does it feel more playful? Does it feel less playful? What do you think? Yeah, this one's real cute. I got it on a whim, but every time I pull this one out, usually somebody goes to Amazon. I was like, wait, I need that deck. Bickering, says Jackie. Elle says, okay, that's actually pretty cute. Sugar Rush says, they all just got hopped up on sugar and started running around attacking each other, right? Pissed babies. Feels more like a king of the hill battle. Too much sugar, says Y2 Tarot. Someone took a bite out of the toffee apple. Where's the oh, right here. Somebody took a bite out of the apple. The only unhappy card in the happy tarot, right? Yeah, those little angry babies. Playground fight, says Saskia. I mean, and kids can be kind of mean to one another, you know, and they will fight over the silliest things. Now, I'm kind of assuming these are kids just because they look like kids, right? But Emily says, it reminds me of the big emotions that the kids go through at school when someone doesn't want to play their game or when they both want the same toy. Oh, it's like the end of the world, right? Like a childhood conflict feels like the biggest thing on earth, right? Yeah, it looks like this one here might be getting ready to throw a temper tantrum. Oak Mama asks, are they fighting for the apple? Kristen says, the girl in the front with the curls, her body language to me seems timid. Right, so it looks like maybe she's kind of backing down from the fight or is kind of afraid to, and I feel like this one here is like, yeah, you don't want to even get into this mess. Like, stay back. And she's like, all right, I'll stay back. You know, so maybe here we have somebody here who's backing away from the conflict and wait, this way. And up here we have somebody who's running into the conflict. So I see there's potentially some different energies or opposing energies happening there with this card as well. In the book, let me see if it says anything here while you guys are maybe thinking of some thoughts on that. Oh, this is Los Garbeos, so I have to find the English, and it's probably just keywords. Children play at mock battles and games of skill, but when the dust settles, they are still good friends. Remember to end competition with a smile. You can find happiness in healthy competition, which was what, you know, some people were saying earlier too. Actually, that book gave me more than I expected, I think. Alana says, oh, back to the gilding, sorry. Not everyone wants to fight, says Oak Mama. T-Cat, sorry for the wrongly written words. I always write in a hurry, but luckily, oh, I hope you don't mind that I sort of, because sometimes I just kind of, because I know what meaning you're trying to get across, but if I ever get it wrong, you are welcome to call me out on it. Jonathan asked, is that a bird in the sky? I feel like it's like a puffy candy cloud. I don't really, let me see here. Yeah, with a rainbow coming out of it and candy sticking out of it. I guess it would look like a bit like a bird from far away, though. Yeah, what's flying there? I just feel like it's, I don't know, a sugar blimp? I don't know. All right, so our fourth question from Jonathan was, how do we give up on old dreams to make room for new dreams? Ooh, so how would you answer that? So, and later he clarified, like old dreams that maybe no longer serve us to make room for the new dreams that might be more in line with our direction. From a distance, it looks like a pink puffin, but that is definitely a sugar blimp. It's a cotton candy cloud. Alana says, yeah, it looks like a cloud with a rainbow. So how do we give up on, or maybe let go of? Maybe that's a term too, depending on how you want to think about it, but to let go of the old dreams that no longer serve us to make room for new dreams. Emily says, maybe childhood dreams that aren't realistic for us. Okay, I just reread it, TCAT, hopefully with the delay, that will help. It's too bad it's not easier to go back in the StreamYard and I can repost it on the screen, but I think it would take me a while to find it. My inner child wants to be a mermaid, said Emily. Yeah, that's a dream that might be difficult to achieve, right? And so we don't want to set ourselves up for failure and disappointment. I think too, one of the things that I see in this card that I haven't seen in the other ones, and it's what we were talking about earlier, where this particular young person looks like perhaps they're kind of backing away, and it's recognizing that if we have something that's blocking us in a way that makes us feel like that is not the right direction or the way that we want to go, and that's not the fray we want to enter into, recognizing why we don't want to get into that and why we want to let that dream go, and then being able to approach it from a different side and recognize, oh, why can't I get my alignment straight? Okay, there we go. And that we can, if we run into it from a different direction, maybe that's really the dream and the way that we can be successful. I'm not sure I got all of my words out that I wanted there, but hopefully you kind of get where I'm going at with that. It's maybe it's not even that you have to give up on the old dream. You just have to come at it from a different way, and it might look a bit different than you expected, is I think where I'm going with that. All right, let's see what you guys think, though. Oak Mama says, maybe the old dream needs to compete with the new ones. We see which is better served for now. Kristen, be willing to not enter that fray anymore. Be willing to step away, right? So maybe it's like when you try to step in here, your way just keeps getting blocked and blocked and blocked. And, you know, out of stubbornness, we would kind of refuse to recognize that maybe there's a reason that that's being blocked. Emily says, just because we love a hobby doesn't mean we have to make it a career. Maybe you can do it for fun for yourself. Susie says, find a new paradigm. Jonathan, let go of the dreams that are nothing but a struggle without reward, but be willing to enter a fight for new dreams that bring great rewards, even if that reward is internal peace. Oh, I like that. That's a much more eloquent way of saying kind of what I was trying to say. I love that. Hi, Sean. Welcome in. Alana, yeah, like finding a way to modify it, right? Change the dream. Maybe you don't even have to give up on it entirely. It just might look different, right? I'm out of, well, no, I'm not out of coffee. I'm almost out of coffee. All right, sounds like you've got a pretty good answer for this for yourself, Jonathan, too, but hope you like the other interpretations here. TCAT, by finding inspiration and ambition to make those old dreams into new ones, right? And a lot of times the old dreams can be the launch pad for the new dreams. Emily, being honest with yourself, actually doing that shadow work and look at those limiting beliefs about yourself. Maybe you can make it work in a slightly different way. Okay, my last deck for today, I have barely opened and looked through. And if any of you have watched my channel, this is my new Dust to Onyx that I ordered. The other one already went to its new home. And I'm very excited to have this make an appearance in Playdate. Elle, did you find the book for this? Because I know Elle was going to maybe be prepared to help me get some stuff out of the book for this one, the big, beautiful guidebook. All right, let me get, Now this is stored in like a 2-part split, so I just have to kind of figure out where my deck split here so I can make sure to get the right card. Thank you, Elle. Okay, so we have blades, assuming that is swords, coins. All right. And then we have Mama coin, that's so cute. Gourds, which I'm assuming are more like pentacles. Yep, staffs. Okay, here we go. 4 and 5 of staffs. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, let me put this over here. Oopsie. All right. Oh, my incense already burned out. Such a gorgeous deck. Okay, here we go. This deck is amazing. Here is our 5 of wands, or 5 of staffs, actually, from this particular. Do they look like toddlers ready, like standing at the ready? Now this is really different because we don't actually see them engaged in battle, but they certainly look prepared, don't they? So I'll be interested to see what you think of this particular version of the card. Oh, Elle was telling me which suit to look for. Corbin says, I love that deck. I need to work with it more. Yeah, it doesn't look like internal conflict. It looks like being ready for the conflict, doesn't it? So it's almost like the precursor to what we've seen in all of these other cards. I know, I do. I love her artwork so much. Alana said, I'm currently working on doing that for myself. Given our current circumstances and my personal limitations has brought me to having to modify my professional dreams, pursuing an online approach. So kind of related to that last question. Chris, elemental cartomancy. Interesting, they are all uniform and parallel, a whole different energy. Jonathan, wow, very different with them standing there ready for battle instead of being in the middle of one. This deck is growing on you, Simon. They look like a team of some sort, ready to go into battle. Yes, it's a bit like the Nine of Wands without the beaten up feeling, right? So when they come out the other side, then we're gonna see a bit more of that. Elle says, we go through stages of development that brings us rites of passage. These rituals are ingrained in societies, connecting community to the individual and the individual to the community. So we're not standing alone, right? They look united, says Drop of Golden Tarot. Exactly. Like a roll call, says Jackie, like, here, I'm ready. Patrice, they look like they're all on the same side, ready to fight together. Almost like a sports team waiting for the game to start, said Jonathan, right? So maybe, maybe they are looking across the way at another group of 5 individuals standing, and maybe that's about to happen, or maybe they're standing together to prevent the conflict from happening. Interesting. I know, Ellie, you've got this book too. Oh my gosh, I need to dive into this. Oh, there she goes. We almost symbolically transition from the naive adolescents to well-prepared and knowledgeable adults. We face challenges, tests, and competition with others to test our strength. Yeah, so Oak Mama, the last 2 comments from Elle, and in fact, I will highlight these for a minute because she's actually bringing them from the book. I had her at the ready. She agreed to do this for me. So this is kind of that first comment from the book. We go through stages of development that bring us rites of passage. These rituals are ingrained in societies, connecting community to the individual and the individual to the community. And then we all must symbolically transition from naive adolescents to well-prepared and knowledgeable adults. We face challenges, tests, and competition with others to test our strength. Yes, like waiting for the other team to bring it on. Elle says, these trails or traits serve to draw out our individual abilities, and depending on the environment, will be nurtured to rise up or suppressed in order to conform. So this might be a lot of that, where we're choosing. Do we step into the fray? Do we let others sort of dictate our position? Trials. Oh, trials. That makes sense, Al. Thank you. Very cool. Like a really different, unique perspective. Does anybody else have any thoughts on this before we answer our last question? Oh, see, here I was thinking we were like all ahead of time, and then all of a sudden, like the time is gone. I don't know how that happens. TCAT, I wonder if the battle actually goes in their mind, since this is very passive. Yeah, it's interesting. And because they're clearly young, right? So they're getting ready to go through like these stages of life that are going to bring a lot of conflict. It's almost like that preparing. It's like they know they're going to have to go through that in order to get out on the other side. So Sue, oh, I love this question for this card. Sue asked, where do we draw strength from this week? Oh, I just got goosebumps because to me, the answer is really obvious to me and how I would interpret this card. But where do we draw strength from this week? From one another, from our comrades, from the people standing by our side. Like, we are not in this alone. Even if you think you are, you're probably not, right? All right, I want to read some more, but I want to see what you guys think about that. Oak Mama had said that fits the training and development theme. Patrice, maybe they're lined up waiting for their turn to compete. Ooh, so maybe one after another, right? Elle, bringing from the book again here, separation from their comforts will serve to harden their minds and bodies to withstand any obstacles they may face in the wilderness and in life. So one of the things this made me think of, Ellen, your comment and what you're saying there actually makes me think it even more, is in some cultures how young people go through sort of these rites of passage right before they become an adult, and they go into the wilderness or they go through these trials. And I can only speak to it based on very limited information. I know others could probably speak to this more, but that kind of made me think of that. It's like, okay, this is the young boy who's going into the woods, and when he comes back out, he's going to be a man kind of thing. Do you know what I mean by that? Robin's here. Hi, Robin. You have been quiet today, my friend. Kristen says, I don't see it as passive as much as I see it as them being expectant. Drop of Golden Tarot says, makes me think of my sisters. We can fight among ourselves, but if someone outside attacks, we line up and defend each other. All family conflict falls away. Oak Mama, we can draw strength from the fact that we are prepared for the coming difficulty, that we are not alone. Exactly. Alana, oh, the wands are finally being aligned to put out that fire. Yep. Saskia, working together and not against each other. Exactly. So I don't know if Sue's still with us here, but I hope that helped answer your question. I want to get into our reversed meanings before we run out of time here. But does anybody else have any other thoughts on this? Isn't it stunning? Oh, I just cannot wait to get into the rest of this. I was so intimidated by this deck for a while, but I'm already feeling like it's much more intuitive, and it will be than I thought it would be. Kristen says, I think this deck teaches us the value of Black perspectives in how we read tarot meanings. And this is why I think it's so important to have inclusion and diversity in tarot decks. And this is, this deck in and of itself is completely 100% melanated and from the Black perspective. And I think that's really important to have in tarot. I skipped your comment, Jonathan. Oh, I sure did. Let's see. We draw strength from our team, our peers that are there to support us and challenge us when needed to be a better person. Is that the comment, Jonathan? I got you. All right. I was so excited by the we are not alone. Whenever I see somebody like post a comment that somewhat validates my perspective, apparently I get all caught up in myself over that. Okay. Let's see. Shanti said, what is the name? Can someone write it? This is the Dust to Onyx. And in fact, I'll write it right here. Of course, somebody may have already seen it, but by Courtney Alexander. And it is a stunner. Okay, so let me pull, no, not the star. So for those who do read reversals, reminds me of the time in the army supporting your comrades, right? Like, don't leave any men behind, all of that. So if we see this card come up in a reversed position, and if you don't read reversals, in a position in a spread in which could indicate that this is a blocked energy or a blocking energy or a what not to do kind of energy, what do you think? And I'm pulling out my little app because that always helps me with some of my reverse meanings, although you guys usually cover it pretty well. I always am a little bit more hesitant on, I would say probably the first thing that comes to mind when this is reversed is the competition is not healthy. It's reached an unhealthy point. All right, so Jonathan says here, reversed, a 5 of Wands can represent vigilant or violent outbursts and abusive behaviors. It can represent a short temper and argumentative disposition. Oak Mama, conflict avoidance, right? So not going into the fray when maybe we need to. Going too far, says Jen/Hen with her new name. Yeah, so maybe taking it too far. Yep, so my app here, I love this little app, my Galaxy app for Android. Arguments, unhealthy competition, ongoing struggle, combative personality. So you're just fighting for the sake of fighting rather than, or you're competing for the sake of competing rather than actually wanting to get to a legitimate outcome, right? Chris says you've lost your purpose and now just, yeah, fighting for the sake of fighting. Time to retreat and reassess your motives and take a different tact. Jonathan, anger takes dominance in the ill-dignified 5 of Wands, meaning reversed, in that someone might be hostile in their interaction. In the real of contests and competition, 5 of Wands can indicate cheating or sabotage, almost turning into like a 5 of Swords kind of situation, right? All right, hopefully I didn't miss anything there. Keep your reverse thoughts coming, and I'm going to get ready here to share with you what will hopefully be a better activity than I gave you last weekend. You have to remember, when I created, and my friends helped me create this Ellen Juliet Little Zen Crone, we were up until like 3 a.m. probably. It was very late trying to get this one. I think this is one from Jilly too, who hasn't been able to come to Playdate as much anymore. T-Cat, reverse. This card is about someone being in constant need to win everything. This card also forces you to look at the fact that you might be the one who is in the heart of the fight. Are you causing the conflict rather than being, I don't know, sometimes being at the very center of it is not very healthy or is something that we need to look at. The fight is no longer constructive, but has become destructive, says Alana. Hence, said based on the last card, those adults who don't move from the stage of adolescence to maturity. So maybe they're just staying stuck, right? And they're stagnant and not moving forward. Yes, I know she is priesting. She's got quite a crew now these days. All right, but in the spirit of Jilly, we have our activity for the week. And as I always do, I will post this in the description box below this video, as well as in the Tarot Playdate Facebook group, so that you have easy access to it if you'd like to participate. As always, I do invite you to share the results if you do tackle the exercise, or if you have thoughts about it, or even if you thought, you know what, I tried and it was a complete disaster, I won't be offended, all right? But here's our activity for this week. Why Can't Everyone Just Get Along is the name of it. And in this one, Jilly invites you to go through your deck and develop your peace council, right? So to kind of make peace with the conflict. Which cards calm your soul? So you can pick one or more cards that help you feel calmer. Which cards help you get over yourself? So which ones maybe might help us kind of get over the ego or get past the ego? Which cards can help you draw clear boundaries? And finally, which cards can help you communicate clearly? So with all of these together, what would your peace council look like? So I'd love to see if you are in the Playdate Facebook group. I'd love to see what that looks like for you. If you're on Instagram and not Playdate, just use the hashtag Tarot Playdate and you can share that with me that way as well. Thank you, Elle, for putting the link as you always do. I very much appreciate it. And Jonathan had some more reverse thoughts: cheating, sabotage, poor sportsmanship. Exactly. I think we need to do some shadow work about our situation, says Emily. All right, you guys, this was fun. And I know you all had some like, oh no's when we first saw this card, but hopefully we've given us lots of different ways that we can look at this card, both the positive and maybe the more challenging aspects of it. Thank you all for bringing all of your thoughts to the table. Playdate would not be the same if none of y'all were here. Let's just be real about that. You guys are awesome. I look forward to seeing you next week. And I love to hear about how this card maybe plays out for you during the week. So let me know. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And until I see you in the next one, I am, as always, sending you lots and lots of love. Bye, everyone.